Hey there, Zeno here. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to play my simple arrangement of O Sacred Head Now Wounded from Fingerstyle Hymns Volume 10. So first thing you want to do is look at the key. So it's in the key of E minor. It tells you what chords you'll be using mostly. And then, of course, to check the time signature. So we have 12/8, meaning there's going to be 12 8 notes in a bar, in a measure. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I find that it's easier to count 1, 2, 3, 4 with 3 subdivisions per beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That way of counting allows you to easily distinguish which ones are the strong beats, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get the feel first, since we know the time signature and where the strong beats are at. So it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I was to just loop the first half, it would sound like this. You can hear that I'm emphasizing 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and right. So strong beats are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go over the first bar here. We've got an E minor and a B7, and basically we're alternating between those two chords. So E minor on the left hand, we just have our index finger, at least for the intro. We have our index finger on the 2nd fret D string. And then for the next chord, we have a B7. So that's 4 with E on the bass. So all you need to do is move that index finger down a string and then put your pinky on the 4th fret D string. So we're kind of alternating between those two chords here. On the right hand, we are in what I call position 1, where the thumb plays all 3 low strings, 1, 2, 3, and index fingers on the G, middle is on the B, and high E is for the ring finger. All right, so we're going 1 and 2 and for that first chord, 1 and 2 and then we switch to B7, 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, don't be confused with these ties right here. It's just indicating that we're playing this note over into beat 3. Same thing here, right? We're playing this and it's basically overlapping to the next beat. With fingerstyle anyways, you want those sounds to overlap unless it specifically says to rest. This first section here, measure 1 to measure 2, sounds like this. So on measure 2, we're going 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. Right. So this is the start of the melody for the verse. And then measure 3, we go to a C chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's a little bit confusing, but if you just remember that the melody is falling on these strong beats, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and make sure to emphasize those notes. So they should be a bit louder than the filler notes here. All right, so again, measure 3 just goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then measure 4. We're going to a D/F sharp with your thumb and then middle finger on the 2nd fret. So from C, like this, right, you're moving your middle finger down and your thumb goes to that bass note. On the right hand, we're going 1 and 2 and then G chord. All right, so D/F sharp to G. And keep that middle finger in that area because it's going to go down here at the very last beat 4. Right, so 3 and 4, 3 and 4. And then we go to measure 5, which is an E minor. It's just the pinky for our left hand. Slide down that pinky just 1 fret, it goes to B7. So from measure 4 all the way to measure 5 sounds like this. that's measure 6 there. It's an E minor chord, but instead of the index finger, we're using our middle finger, right? So 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4, and another melody note there to start the next verse. Measure 7, 8, and 9, it's basically similar to what we've learned already. And then measure 10, again, E minor. We've already learned something similar. Now we get to the chorus section. Starts with a melody note on the 3rd fret, high E string. Okay, so that's measure 11. So we're starting off with a D and a bass note. So D with an A on the bass. And basically what we're doing here is we're doing a pull off, right? So that pull off, you pluck first and then you pull off with the middle finger. The sound level should be equal between the pulled off note and the plucked note. So pluck, pull off. And also take note of the rhythm, right? It's an equal 8th note here. You're not going, right? You don't rush it. We are going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and okay. So from the last note of measure 10. And that's just a D sus2. And we're ending with the middle finger here on the 2nd fret. Now take note of the next chord. We're going to a G sus4. So from this chord shape, you need to get to this G chord shape. So it's important that when you play this very last note, you already kind of prepare, you lift up your other fingers to play G bass note and the high E string, 3rd fret. Don't worry about the 1st fret with the index finger yet. You just need to make sure that you're able to put these fingers down, and then you can add this later, right? So right when you play this note, you have to lift up your ring and your pinky. There, now I'm already ready. I'm anticipating. Right? See, I put my index finger down when I needed to use it. Okay, so that measure 12, we're going G sus4 to G. Okay, and then at the very end, we're moving that pinky to the 3rd fret B string. All right, measure 13, we go back to a C chord. This time, we're also going to go to an A minor chord. So from C to A minor. So 1 and 2 and 3. Right on beat 3, we're moving to that A minor. So make sure to count so that you know where you're at. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then E. So from A minor, keep that middle finger down. Then move your index finger up a string. So that's 1 and 2 and 3. Now we go to an A7 chord. We move our index 1 fret up and bar the 2nd fret, basically, top 3 strings, and then ring finger here for that A7, beat 4, 4, and then we go to measure 15, and we play D this way because we're gonna extend our pinky later on. So let's practice A7 to D first. So. So we're keeping that index finger there. We're barring down those notes. Now, what am I doing here? So I'm arpeggiating that chord, meaning I'm playing the notes one at a time, but really fast. Like that. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Right? Okay, so pinky will extend to play this note. Then pinky will slide back down 2 frets for that G. Middle finger plays that note on the 2nd fret. And then after this G chord, then we have an A7. Now when I move to that A7, right? I'm on this chord right now. When I go to A7, I just play the open A first and the open E. And then right at about here, that's when I place my fingers down to form the chord. So the open strings allow me to transition to that A7 smoothly without stopping. Okay, so again from that G, so you notice that? That's when I play the open strings, gives me enough time to position my fingers for that A7. See? So I even put my fingers down one at a time. I don't need to put them together at the same time because this one comes first and this one comes last. So 1 and 2, 3, 4. So then we have a D/F sharp. And then for the G, you just move your thumb up. Makes for a very smooth transition. And then C, 1 and 2, and then D/F sharp, 3 and 4. Now after measure 17, there's a repeat sign. So you go back and find the other repeat sign. It's all the way back at measure 1. You play it all the way until you get to measure 17 again. And on that second time, you go to measure 18. So from that second time, now you go to measure 18. And we are done. And that's it. That's how you play this simple arrangement. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Also, check out my academy if you want more in-depth learning.